am so curious to know if you guys are anything like me, where you love to see the Pinterest perfect videos and photos of different art rooms and the ever so highly curated videos of artists online making their perfect art in their perfect space, and you just wonder, what is it like to live like that? I, for one, have no idea. I cannot relate. A fact which is likely clear to you as you watch me wrap my little tune up in her blankie in the first iteration of my art room. The way I designed it when I first moved into the room, something I'll be talking about shortly in the video. Anyway, I don't want that for my own space. I just feel like it's not the kind of space I would feel comfortable in. I much prefer the cozy, eclectic, sort of un-Pinterest-worthy art space. And when my husband told me this past summer that he'd like to build a desk for me because the one I had been using was an ancient, wobbly, sort of jiggly desk that every move I made created ripples across it, like throwing not pebbles, but boulders across the surface of a still pond. And since I do film YouTube videos, at least every once in a while, sorry guys, it's pretty important that my desk holds still when I'm drawing or painting on it. And further, it's just not a nice feeling when you place your arms on your desk and everything starts to wobble and jiggle and fall off. So given that he is a welder and a woodworker, he urged me to let him make me a desk. And I said, thank you so much. I would love one. And that started the process that we're going to watch in this vlog today. I'm including some footage just of me in my art room and some conversations about the idea of having an art room at all, as well as some footage that shows my husband and my dogs, which I can't help but love having. So stick around and let's take apart my art room and build it back up for the cost of $0.00 using all of the items I already had, creating my own little oasis in my home. Let's get into it. All right. So this is my husband Jay putting the finished desk together, attaching the butcher block top to the base that he welded, and doing a mighty fine job, I might add. Of course, Toon, forever the critic, is watching over the entire thing and isn't pleased with the process. What can you do? Judgy dogs are gonna judge. Anyway, you can see in the room that I have put all of my things all over the place. I normally never operate with stuff just everywhere like that, but I had begun consolidating things and putting things in piles that I knew I would want to use in the room or move around in the room once the redecoration process was underway. So you can certainly witness that mess in this piece. And then we cut to my sweet hubs in the garage welding. Like, I'm sorry, anyone flash dance? Flash dance anyone? I don't know. I think he looks adorable. I don't know how they do that, looking through that hood and managing to get anything done. For me, I think it would just be overwhelming. Anyway, quick cut to the garden, because how cute is this? These videos were shot in sequence with the ones of my husband building the desk because all of this took place this past summer. And then here he is working on his garden and growing lettuce. Just like, how adorable. Is that annoying? It's probably annoying. I'm sorry, I love my husband. Speaking of which, if you guys are interested, my next video is going to include the footage from our trip to Arizona that we took a week ago. We went back home, and for our 20th wedding anniversary, we got remarried, and we also were baptized along with our whole family, which was a gift the magnitude of. I can't even begin to express. It was a beautiful trip, and I will be chronicling it soon. One of my favorite things to do when I wake up on Mondays, usually around 3 p.m., after I feed the dogs, is to come up here to my art room, turn on some music, and just breathe. After a really long weekend at the hospital, it's a little overwhelming. Therefore, this little art room and my little dogs, this is my refuge. And I am so grateful to God for showing me art. Toon is licking my toe. I'm not sure if you can see. It's very cozy in here at night after I put the house to bed. This again is my refuge. Prior to this, I used to paint in the kitchen on my island. And then on the dining room table for a couple of years, which was great, and I loved it. The only problem with that was that whenever we needed to do something in the kitchen, I had to clean everything up and put it away. Not a big thing. I certainly could have kept doing it and been very happy. But when my brother-in-law decided to get married and he moved out of this room in our house, it became mine, which was a gift. And while it's certainly not the most aesthetic room you'll ever see, it is mine. I feel that I've organized it pretty well to make it as functional as possible. I think for today's piece of this little vlog, I will leave you and on to the next. All right, guys, let's get into the meat of this room makeover, shall we? In the beginning, I took everything out of the closet and off of all the shelves and kind of moved everything to a central area where I could see it. I picked up a lot of things because I didn't want to leave things all over the floor since I have 2 little wiener dogs that like to put everything in their mouths. You'll see here lots of pieces I've created on the channel and some that I haven't. Ultimately, you'll see later in this video that I do frame most of them and also put some in a more consolidated area on a special board that I use just for the art pieces I enjoy the most. You can also see this piece, which is the completed piece that you saw earlier in the video when I was showing the pieces I had first made back in 2021 when I was still painting on my kitchen island. I had to frame it because it was really meaningful to me. And here's just a bunch of stuff. As you can see, there's drawing stuff, pens, there's some palettes of paint, colored pencils, some filming things, editing things, and that star that I bought at a thrift store years ago that eventually you'll see hanging on the wall. I was looking to get all of my art pieces that I've made over the last 3 years out and where I could visibly categorize them into different collections. Pieces I still want to work on because maybe I stopped working on them at a time when I didn't really have the skill to finish them, and now I might. As well as pieces that are almost finished that just need a few things done to them, and then I can hang them and put them elsewhere in the house maybe, or give them away to friends or family. And then there are pieces that just are not going to work out, and I can use the back as scratch watercolor paper. So that had been a project I'd been wanting to do for quite some time, and finally got the chance to do when I took this room apart. Cleaning, always cleaning. You guys know if you have dogs, how important it is to be vacuuming constantly, and the joy of vacuuming behind something when you finally move your furniture and get the chance to do it. So here I'm setting aside all my different journals and categorizing those as well in terms of ones that I want to keep out and ones that I want to file away, maybe in the closet or someplace more private. I wanted to move everything out into the hall outside of the room so I could, again, vacuum the whole space, dust everything, and really take a good hard look at everything that was in the room and decide what needed to go, what could stay, and where and how I wanted to categorize stuff. Toon's little head going back and forth watching me clean is so funny. All of the furniture in this room has been something that we used elsewhere in the house. Even that black leather ottoman that Toon is standing on was my mom's when she was living in my small town for about a year back in 2017, seeing if she could stomach living here full time. Turned out she couldn't, but I don't blame her. It gets to be about 70 below, no joke, in the winter here. So we understand why she had to go. I think one day we'll all live in the same place, and that'll be really exciting. We used that ottoman to become a little dog chair for them to lay on and sleep on when I'm making art here in my art room, and believe me, they love it. The pothos. The pothos and the blanket ladder. I know blanket ladders aren't like the thing anymore, but my husband built that one back in the day, so I wanted to be sure I could utilize it somehow in this room rather than having it sit in a closet not being used. So I risked my life and stood on this coffee table to make pothos vines stretch out all over the blanket ladder. I think it would be really cute also with lights, but I didn't have any extra lights at the time. So here I am, like I said, categorizing paintings into different categories. And then this is the little standing desk that I'm using for my Bible study area. And I didn't know that's what it was when I bought it like a few years ago at a thrift store for $6 or something, but that's what it is. And it's perfect for that purpose. I'm remaking Toon and Ernie's little bed/chair for the art room, and they are very pleased with it. You can also see the ramp that my husband has made for them for every tall thing in the house. Basically, they have one for the bed, they have one for the chair. We tried to give them one for the couch, but they literally refused to use it. I have lots of these frames on the ground. Whenever I go to a thrift store and I find a frame that I like, I buy it so that whenever I have an appropriate painting for it, I can just have a frame available, which helps a lot because I'm a huge procrastinator when it comes to putting paintings in frames. All right, so these are some of the paintings that I liked the most that were currently finished, and you'll see them in the final bit here. I have framed them and started hanging them up. And now the big reveal. All right, so I have everything organized on that shelf there that you can see. All of my watercolor journals and my watercolor paper, as well as things that I use when I do my weekly planner spreads. I feel like it's just the perfect place for those kinds of things. And then the Bible study area. I have all of my prayer journals and then, of course, my Bibles. I have an NKJV Word Study Bible, and I also have the She Reads Truth CSB version of the Bible and some other resources as well. I had those lights and I wanted to make a little special area delineated as just for Bible study. And Wait. Hold the phone. We need to go back and look at the desk, the whole reason for filming this art room makeover in the first place. And then we'll go back and look at the rest of the room. Let's do it. All right, guys, this is the part everybody wants to see, right? The part where I reveal the desk that initiated this entire process of redoing my whole art room this summer. Except, guess what? It's not summer, it's winter again. You can see it snowed last night. It's absolutely lovely. It's just a few days before Thanksgiving, and I couldn't be happier. Now, okay, so this is my desk as it is finished. Here we go. So over here, I keep the palettes that I'm currently using. And I saw in a Caroline Winkler video about 2 years ago that it's a really good idea to cluster things on a cutting board because it makes them look less like just a bunch of stuff and more like something that was meant to be there. Except I never do it right. So now it's just a bunch of stuff that's not meant to be there and also a cutting board. So here are a bunch of different size palettes that I use when I am painting, and I like them to be handy so I can just kind of grab them. I have a bunch of other ones as well that are in these little drawers here. And then right here I keep these cotton rags. So then I have my little spray bottle, and I keep all my tube paints in that little jar right there. I've started using smaller water jars because I realize that I don't want to be dunking my brushes in above the ferrule because then water gets in the top and they get ruined. So if I use a smaller little jar for water, then I remember not to dunk my brushes. These are a couple things I've been working on lately. This is a lovely little lady and another lovely little lady. And then some eyeballs. I'm really trying to work on my style for how I paint eyeballs. Neither of these are done, you guys. These are just partially done eyeballs. Partially done eyeballs. Sorry about that. All right, so over here, I keep things like rulers and my little proportion device and tissues because I'm constantly sneezing and blowing my nose. You needed to know that. And then the brushes I use the most often are there and here as well. Other brushes that I don't use as often are in the back. I keep colored pencils there. And then this little thing is a really heavy metal, thing from the oil field that my husband brought home. It weighs probably 50 pounds at least. And it's perfect for putting on my overhead thing that I use for filming. I keep my phone cord right there so I can leave it plugged in. Y'all are like, yeah, that's a phone plug. We've seen that before. Thank you. Then the little overhead light that I use because I'm very old and can't see much is here. And this is cool. It has a little magnifying thing. Check this out. Does everything look magnified? I can't really tell, but it does in real life when you look through it. Okay, so then up here, I keep little things that I use for like when I draw flowers so that I can make ellipses. Ellipses? No, what are those called? Ovals? Elliptical? What are they called? Ellipsis. I don't know. Then I keep a bunch of kneaded erasers. I needed these kneaded erasers. Oh. But I also keep, like when I'm filming a voiceover for a video, I use this thing so I'm not like going into the thing. It's called I don't know what it's called. I bring it down. I put the microphone here. And I talk into it like so. Okay, this is the best thing ever. Ready? You saw this earlier in the video. This is my foot massager. I work as a nurse, you know this. I work 12-hour shifts. It really is helpful for me to have a place to put my feet and massage them. Let's check this out. Ready? You guys are going to see it in action. All right, so I just push this button, put the feet in, and there she goes. Oops, it just rubs them, and there's a little button for heat. Oh, it's so great. So I can sit here and be massaging the feet, and I can be making art. I put together this little watercolor sketchbook, as you can tell by the title on the page. Brilliant. Using some watercolor paper I happened to find at a store. I wasn't sure of the quality and it wasn't very expensive, but I wanted to use it to, as you can see, try new stuff. So this is the kind of the view as I'm sitting here and working. It's just lovely. Got some little pups laying there as they do. Uh-oh, they woke up. No, go back to sleep. They hang out with me. Got the feet massager going. And this is just what we do, you know? Now we're going to cut to the outcome of this art room makeover, what you've been waiting to see this whole time. Let's do it, dudes. All right, hang on. Here is the watercolor journal I was working on at the time, just kind of creating different styles of art pieces. And then we get a whole view here of kind of the finished room. And I'm just so grateful that you guys took time out of your day to spend with me and to watch this real life art room makeover for regular people. I absolutely pray that you got some useful ideas out of watching this video. I love it in here. I love spending time in here every single day. It's my favorite place in my house, and it's become sort of a gathering spot where the puppies will hang out, my husband will come hang out and chat with me. It's just a really pleasant environment. I feel very blessed to have it, and that's why I wanted to share it with you guys. So thank you again, and I will be seeing you in the next video, and I hope that you have an absolutely beautiful day. Bye-bye.